Hello everybody. In our today's session, we are going to discuss how the number of electrons present in bonding or antibonding molecular orbital will decide stability of the molecule. Clear? So for that, here I have written stability of molecule. Here Nv is the number of electrons present in a bonding molecular orbital, and Na is the number of electrons present in anti-bonding molecular orbital. Clear? So now based on the number of electrons present in bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals, how the stability of the molecule can be decided. So for that the condition is, if Nb is greater than Na, then the molecule will be stable. Means for any molecule, as I told you in the previous lecture also, that in this chapter we are going to discuss the molecular electron configuration of homonuclear diatomic molecules of second period of periodic table. So if we take any of the molecule, that is diatomic molecule of the second period of periodic table, then after writing the molecular electron configuration, we have to see how many electrons are present in bonding and how many in antibonding. Clear? If bonding electrons are more in number than the electrons in antibonding, then that molecule will be stable. Now when we take one by one each example, then it will be more clear. If Nb bonding electrons are less than antibonding electrons, then that molecule will be unstable, and being unstable, it does not exist, it cannot exist. Clear? So these are the two conditions for stability of the molecule. Clear? Okay. Then comes bond order. In the chapter of chemical bonding and molecular structure, we have, I think previously we have talked about bond order, and the bond order means the number of bonds present between two bonded atoms. Clear? For example, if we take a oxygen molecule, then between oxygen and oxygen atom there is a double bond, so it is a covalent double bond. If we take hydrogen molecule, then between two hydrogen atoms there is a covalent single bond. Clear? So that number of covalent bonds present between the two bonded atoms is known as bond order of that molecule. Clear? Now how to calculate? See, for suppose you are given N2, nitrogen. Now without knowing the structure, without knowing the electron dot structure of N2 molecule, it is not possible to decide the bond order of that molecule. Clear? So mathematically, how to calculate bond order on the basis of molecular orbital theory. So bond order BO is equal to half of bonding electrons minus anti-bonding electrons. Means when we write the electron configuration, then the number of electrons present in the molecular orbitals like sigma or pi without asterisk, they are called bonding. Clear? And the molecular orbitals like sigma and pi with asterisk, they are called antibonding. And in the previous session I told you that as the electrons are entering into the atomic orbitals following Aufbau's principle, Pauli's rule and Hund's rule, similarly in the molecule also electron will enter following all these rules. Clear? So as per those rules, in the previous session we had also seen the energy sequence of different molecular orbitals. So in every orbital there will be maximum 2 electrons. Clear? So keeping that in mind, we will calculate how many electrons are present in bonding orbitals, means orbitals without asterisk, and how many electrons are present in anti-bonding molecular orbital, that is orbitals with asterisk. Clear? So difference of this divided by 2 will give us bond order. Clear? Then the next important thing is magnetic property. Now how to decide magnetic property? There are mainly two types of magnetic properties. One is paramagnetic magnetism and second is a diamagnetism. Paramagnetism means when the substance is brought near the magnet, or it is placed in the external magnetic field, then that substance is attracted by magnet. So that is called paramagnetic. But if the substance is brought near magnet and it is repelled, it moves away from the magnet, or when the substance is placed in external magnetic field and it moves away from the magnetic field, means it is repelled, then that substance is called diamagnetic. So now how to decide the substance is whether paramagnetic or diamagnetic? So for that again we will go for the molecular electron configuration. Clear? If all electrons are paired, means electrons present in both bonding and anti-bonding all together. If all electrons present in bonding as well as anti-bonding orbitals are paired, clear, means two electrons in each orbital, clear, then they are called paired electrons, and the substance or the molecule or the compound will be diamagnetic. Clear? So diamagnetism is observed only when all the electrons present in the molecule are paired. Clear? So such substances are repelled by magnetic field. But if one or more unpaired electrons are present in the molecule, in the atom, in the ion, clear, then that substance will show paramagnetism. Means when we write the electron configuration of the molecule, and if a single electron is found in the bonding or anti-bonding molecular orbital, then that substance, that molecule will show paramagnetism, means that molecule will be attracted by magnetic field. Clear? So on the basis of, see how important the molecular electron configuration is. On the basis of that configuration, you can decide the stability of the molecule, you can calculate the bond order, you can also predict the magnetic property of that molecule. Now how? So for that we will take different examples. Clear? Now here I have taken the example again of homonuclear diatomic molecules of second period of periodic table. Clear? So the first element of the second period of periodic table is lithium. Clear? Then comes beryllium, then comes boron, then carbon, then nitrogen, then oxygen, then fluorine, and then neon. These are the elements of second period. Clear? But just to make you understand how to write molecular electron configuration and how to calculate bond order, I have taken one simple example of hydrogen molecule. Clear? Because in the structure of atoms, second chapter as well as in this chapter also, whatever theories we have studied, in all those theory, H2 is always taken as an example. So we cannot ignore this molecule. It is very important for us in order to make us understand all the concepts. Clear? So this is a very simple but very important molecule. So H2. Now H2 is formed by two hydrogen atoms, and each hydrogen is having one electron present in 1s orbital. Means when H2 molecule is formed, there will be two electrons. Clear? So total 2 electrons are there. Now if I write the molecular configuration, then it is sigma 1s2. In the previous session we had studied the energy sequence of molecular orbital. So in that the s orbital comes first. Clear? Sigma 1s orbital comes first. So electron configuration is a sigma 1s2. Now in H2 molecule there are only 2 electrons. So these electrons are filled up in sigma 1s orbital only. Remaining orbitals will be vacant. Remaining in the sense, here there are 2 atomic orbitals, so 2 molecular orbitals will be formed. One is sigma 1s and the other is sigma star 1s. Sigma star 1s will remain vacant because there is no electron. Clear? So 2 electrons in H2 molecule, they are accommodated according to Pauli's rule in sigma 1s orbital. Clear? So now the bond order is equal to half of Nb minus Na. Nb means the number of electrons present in bonding orbital. Here in case of H2, there is no anti-bonding orbital in which the electron is present. Of course, anti-bonding sigma star 1s orbital is there, but there is no electron present in it. Clear? And that is why here we can say that anti-bonding electrons are 0. So half into 2 minus 0. So it is equal to 1. One bond order is 1 means in H2 molecule between two hydrogen atoms there is a single covalent bond. Clear? Now let us take the other example. Suppose the second example is of helium. This is again the element of the first period. In the first period there are only two elements, hydrogen and helium. Clear? Now in helium its atomic number is 2. When He2 molecule is to be formed, then 4 electrons will be there. Total 4 electrons. Clear? So electron configuration is written as sigma 1s2 and sigma star 1s2. Here it is very important to remember the sequence of molecular orbitals that we discussed in the previous lecture. Clear? So if you remember that sequence well, then this type of questions are very easy to answer. Clear? And this is very important topic. See, this is only the basic knowledge. On the basis of this knowledge, you will be asked this type of application based question. Clear? Application type questions. So here suppose we take He2, helium 2. We also know that inert gases except xenon, the other elements they don't form, or they don't react with even itself or with the other atoms. Clear? But here you can see He2 I have written, means helium has reacted with helium. Clear? That is not possible because we know that it is an inert gas, so it cannot react even with itself. So now we will prove why this type of molecule is not possible. So in He2 there are total 4 electrons. So configuration is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2. Clear? So here you can see in bonding molecular orbital there are 2 electrons, and in anti-bonding molecular orbital also there are 2 electrons. So bond order is equal to half into Nb minus Na, means 2 minus 2 divided by 2. So it is equal to 0. Bond order is 0. See, if Nb is less than Na, then the molecule is unstable and it does not exist. Even if the bond order is 0, means here the third condition, if Na is equal to Nb or Nb is equal to Na, then also the bond order becomes 0, and so the molecule does not exist. Clear? Molecule does not exist. So this also you have to remember. So in case of helium, the bond order is 0. Clear? Means no bond can be formed between two helium atoms. So this type of molecule will not exist. Clear? So why He2 is not possible? This type of question can also be asked. Clear? In 2 marks. Why He2 is not possible? H2 is possible but He2 is not possible. What is the reason? So in that answer, you have to write the electron configuration of H2 molecule, calculate its bond order. You write the configuration of He2 molecule and you calculate bond order. And then you can answer that in case of H2, bond order is 1, means there is a covalent single bond formation between two hydrogen atoms. But in He2, bond order is 0, means there is no bond formation, and that is why He2 does not exist. Clear? Okay. Then we will go to the elements of the second period. So in that the first one is lithium, Li2. Lithium atomic number is 3. So in Li2 the electrons will be double. So there are 6 electrons. Now configuration is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2 and sigma 2s2. So you can see 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 6 electrons are over. Now here you can see there are 4 bonding electrons and 2 anti-bonding electrons. So bond order is equal to 4 minus 2 divided by 2. So it is equal to 1. So in lithium Li2 molecule also there is a single bond between lithium and lithium. Clear? So it can exist because bond order has got some value. Clear? Then the next element is beryllium, Be2. Beryllium atomic number is 4. So in beryllium total 8 electrons are there. So the electron configuration is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2. So total 8 electrons are over. Now in bonding there are 2 bonding orbitals, sigma 1s and sigma 2s. So total 4 electrons. Similarly, in anti-bonding also there are 4 electrons. Clear? So bond order is half into 4 minus 4, so it is 0. So beryllium 2, Be2 molecule also does not exist. Like He2 does not exist, likewise Be2 does not exist. Why? Because for both these molecules bond order is 0. Clear? Then B2 means boron. For that nothing is mentioned in the textbook, but if it is asked in exam, then it is one and the same thing. Boron atomic number 5, so B2 means total 10 electrons. So you will have to arrange 10 electrons. Clear? And then you will be calculating bond order. Now let us go to this. This is very important. C2. Clear? C2, 2 carbon atoms, they are united. So C2, atomic number of carbon is 6. So C2 means 12 electrons. So 12 electrons are arranged like this: sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2. Then pi 2px2 is equal to pi 2py2. Clear? So you remember the energy sequence of molecular orbital. So according to that sequence only I have written the configuration. Total 12 electrons, so 2 in each. So all 12 electrons are over. Clear? Now here you can see in bonding orbitals 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 8. So 8 bonding electrons are there and 4 anti-bonding electrons are there. So 8 minus 4 divided by 2, so it is equal to 2. Means in the C2 molecule there is a double bond between 2 carbon atoms. Clear? So it is like this: C double bond C. Clear? Now in covalent bond formation we have seen that whenever multiple bonds are formed between the 2 atoms, then one bond is sigma and the remaining are pi bond. So here also if we apply that knowledge, then in C2 molecule there is a double bond. Clear? So one can be sigma and the other is pi, but it is not like that. In C2 molecule both the bonds are pi bonds. Clear? Because here the anti-bonding electrons, there are involvement. There is involvement of 2 we can say the pi orbitals. Clear? So there is involvement of pi orbitals in the formation of C2 molecule, and that is why both the bonds in C2 molecule are pi bond. There is no sigma bond. So this is very, very important. Clear? In C2 molecule there is pi bond, double bond, but both the bonds are pi bond. Why? Because there are 2 pi orbitals involved in this bond formation. Got it? Okay, then the last molecule O2. Oxygen atomic number is 8. So in O2 molecule there are total 16 electrons. So sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2. Then for O2 and F2 the energy sequence is different. Clear? So before pi to px and pi to py there is sigma to pz orbital. So in sigma to pz also there are 2 electrons. Then pi to px is equal to pi to py, 2 electrons in each. Then pi star to px is equal to pi star to py, and so there are only one electron. You can see here total 16 electrons. So 2 plus 2 4 plus 2 6 plus 2 8 plus 2 10 plus 2 12 plus 2 14. Now 2 electrons are left, but we cannot write that it is a pi star to px2 and pi star to py is 0. We cannot write like that because these are degenerate orbitals. So according to Hund's rule, we have only 2 electrons left. Clear? Remaining 14 electrons are arranged. Now only last 2 electrons are left. So for last 2 electrons they have to enter degenerate orbital. So according to Hund's rule, they will enter singly in both the orbitals. Clear? So it is pi star to px is equal to pi star to py 1. Clear? So this sequence you have to remember. Okay. Now here you can see bond order is equal to, so here bonding electrons 2 plus 2 4 plus 2 6, then 8 and then 10. So 10 bonding electrons, and these are anti-bonding electrons 4, then 5 and 6. So 6 anti-bonding electrons, so 10 minus 6. Clear? So it is 4. So 4 divided by 2, so it is equal to 2. So in oxygen there is a oxygen, double bond, oxygen. Is it clear? So here in a case of oxygen, there is presence of double bond, oxygen bond oxygen, similar like that is present in C2 molecule also. But in C2 both the bonds are pi bonds, whereas in case of oxygen one is a sigma and the other is pi bond. Clear? So here C2 is the exceptional case. So for that you have to remember it. Got it? Okay. Now suppose, see, F2 is not given in the textbook. F2 total 18 electrons. Clear? So sequence will remain same for oxygen and F2, O2 and F2 the sequence is same. So here compared to oxygen there are 2 electrons more. So here in F2, here I will write pi star to px2 and pi star to py2. Means the bond order will become 10 minus 8. Clear? 10 minus 8 means it is 2 divided by 2, so it is equal to 1. So in F2 molecule there is a single bond between two fluorine atoms. So though this is not given in the textbook, you will have to prepare it. Similarly, Ne2, neon, it is also not given in the textbook, but in neon there will be 20 electrons. Clear? So 20 electrons means after this one more orbital will be there, and that will be sigma 2pz2. Clear? So all the electrons are filled up. In case of neon, again the bond order will be 0. You can check it. This can be considered as your practice work or homework. You will be writing the molecular orbital configuration, molecular electron configuration of F2 and Ne2, and you will calculate bond order on your own. For F2 the bond order will be 1, and for Ne2 bond order will be 0. So Ne2 also does not exist. Now let us talk about magnetic properties. Now here you can see in case of H2, 2 paired electrons are there. In helium also paired electrons are there. Lithium all paired electrons. Beryllium all paired electrons. In C2 also all paired electrons are there. So all these molecules, they have all paired electrons. So they are all diamagnetic. Clear? But if we take O2, then in case of O2 you can see here in these two anti-bonding electrons present, one electron means unpaired electrons are present. So in O2 molecule there are 2 unpaired electrons present, and because of unpaired electron O2 will be paramagnetic, means it will be attracted by magnetic field. Clear? So this is all about the molecules which are given in our textbook. We have studied how to write the molecular electron configuration, how to calculate their bond order, and how to decide the magnetic properties. Clear? So all this we discussed. Now in the next class we will go for how to draw the molecular orbital diagram, and the last topic of this chapter, that is hydrogen bond and its 2 different types. So that we will discuss in the next session. So this is all for today. Have a nice time. Thank you.